I get a chance to talk once a week, okay? So this is something people have been talking about all week long and for the last little while is that whole Colin Kaepernick thing. And I want to bring an intelligent brother on to talk with me about this whole situation. So I dug deep. And I found the great Jack Gordon in the house.
Apparently, I was like third or fourth on your list if you were looking to.
Well, I wasn't going to say all that, man. No, but you know you're a smart dude. You know that, right?
And I appreciate being here. And again, I got to tell you how proud I am of Alex Sinnick. Look at this quad.
Isn't it, right?
This is beautiful. But what Alex didn't tell you with respect to his history of immigration is that, in all fairness, some of the United States immigration laws aren't necessarily as fair as they otherwise should be.
What does fairness have to do with laws?
Yeah, no, right?
Right?
Justice is not the point here. The law is.
Yeah.
But Alex was fortunate enough to come our way, to come to Maney Gordon after
really?
struggling for years and years to properly garner recognition from the United States government as an immigrant. Now, we assisted him garner his permanent residence, ultimately his citizenship. And look at this. Here's a guy truly living the American dream. Right?
Absolutely. Grinding.
Important to talk about on September 11th.
I love it. We're trying to be as patriotic as we can because, to be honest with you, I don't know if anything's more patriotic than football.
Right?
Seriously.
I agree.
I mean, when 9/11 happened and all these, things happen, people go to sports and they go to football to get away from it. And it seems like the place where people will, I guess, show their patriotism. There's no other places other than sports, really.
Well, think about it. Clear winners, clear losers. Think about how many times, whether it's a baseball game, football game, the flyby, the military flyby, the guys in uniform, recognizing the men and women of the United States military. No, there's certainly a hybrid between sports and patriotism, no doubt.
And there's a hybrid between football and the military. And I'm going to say this. I would never... People always say we're going to war, okay? That's been said in locker rooms forever. It's never going to stop. Some people don't like it. It's a saying, okay?
The gridiron is a field of battle.
But they're really comparing them.
Absolutely.
But when you see football players and you see the military and they come together, there's a really funny, there's a bond. And it's like you almost see eye to eye. You understand. If you think training camp, boot camp, they're all really the same thing.
Well, think about it from a team perspective. Think about it from a training perspective.
Exactly.
Until you actually get out there into the warfare element of it. And who are you relying upon? You're relying upon your brothers at arms. There's a fraternal aspect to both sports and the military that makes it a natural hybrid.
Absolutely. We're talking to Jack Gordon. Now, the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, everybody knows he didn't stand up for the national anthem. I believe it's his right. I'm not a big fan of doing it that way. But now it's all said and done, and it's a couple weeks away.
And we're still talking about it.
But there's nobody doing more for that cause than Colin Kaepernick right now.
There's some elements of this controversy that I have some very strong opinions about.
Please.
We've known each other long enough to know that I got a strong opinion about everything.
Yes, you do. That's why you're here.
As a board-certified civil trial lawyer, certainly I am passionate about fundamental freedoms. I am passionate about constitutional rights. I am passionate about Colin Kaepernick's First Amendment right to free speech.
Yes.
And, of course, all the lawyers at Maney and Gordon are passionate about the fundamental right to trial by jury.
Sure.
Representing victims of car accidents and victims of medical malpractice for years and years. From my own personality, Jack Gordon, I admire the rebellious spirit.
Okay.
I mean, you got to love that. And I believe that everybody has a right to protest. Colin Kaepernick, and you and I had this discussion many years back, but Colin Kaepernick, I admire the fact that he's utilizing his celebrity as a platform for protest. You and I went to events, it's got to be 5-10 years ago, man. It was cigars and cars.
Okay.
Remember? It was just the two of us.
Sure.
And we were getting into it in the parking lot. We were talking about how celebrity is the new currency. We were talking about who are the audible voices in society. People who are known, whether they're recognized by virtue of television, radio, sports, they have an opportunity to communicate a message. So I admire those people, like Colin Kaepernick, who are utilizing his celebrity to be heard. If you remember, Michael Jordan was criticized greatly because throughout the course of his career, he wouldn't take a stand on anything.
Never did.
He wouldn't say anything. And, of course, the big criticism was, he doesn't want to lose any of those endorsements.
But that's a fact, isn't it?
I don't know, but if you compare a guy like Michael to, let's say, if you remember...
By the way, he's crazy.
Crazy, man. Up in
Absolutely.
Vermont now. I think he's growing his own stuff.
Yeah.
But forget about Spaceman Lee. Arguably, he was out in the fringes. How about guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Sure.
How about Jim Brown?
Yeah.
That's an opinionated vocal brother.
Yeah, but the Jim Brown has no love for Michael Jordan. He shouldn't.
By virtue of the fact that Michael never took a stand, and Jim Brown's willing to take a stand on anything.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Colin Kaepernick. He's absolutely got a right to protest. I love the fact that he has this willingness to take a stand. It's his choice of how to protest that I think to some degree is misguided. Here's what he said about when he It was against the Green Bay game. It was the Green Bay Packers. He refused to stand for the national anthem. He sat on the bench. He wouldn't show respect for the flag. Later, the next week, and I forget who they were playing, but he took a knee for purposes of the anthem. But we're talking specifically about the original protest, the Green Bay Packers. He said, I can't show respect and pride for a flag when that country's officials don't respect black Americans. And this is something that he's been protesting for quite some time.
Is he wrong?
No, he's not wrong, but here's where he's wrong. First of all, previous thereto, he came to a practice, and he had these knee-high socks, and they had caricatures of pigs wearing police uniforms. That's a much more guided, direct protest. Here's why I think his protest of the national anthem and the flag is misguided. And I think, in all fairness, a lot of United States citizens and people just don't have a clear understanding. The United States flag is not a logo for the United States government. The national anthem is not the theme song for the United States government. In 1931, when we decided as a country to utilize Francis Scott Key's poem as the national anthem, there was great criticism. They said, wait a minute, it's a little too political a song. Maybe we should stick to something like God Bless America or America the Beautiful. But the flag and the anthem, it doesn't represent the politicians, the people in authority. Here's what the flag...
What about the military?
It does, exactly.
Does it represent the military? Because
it represents the bravery and the courage of the young men and women who dedicate their lives to protect our freedoms. It represents and symbolizes the wonder of our natural resources. It is a symbol of freedom. It is the courage of 13 fledgling colonies to fight repression by virtue of taking it to Great Britain and developing our independence.
But do people have the right, I would say, because normal people don't have people looking over them all the time and judging every movement, okay? Now, for somebody not to stand for the national anthem, do people have the right to say, well, he's against the military? Like, to me, that's ludicrous.
I don't think
that's
he's
ludicrous.
And that's the point. Arguably, because the flag does represent, again, the bravery and the courage of the men and women, to some degree, it can be interpreted as disrespect for that courage, for that bravery. But here's the point. I don't have a problem with it. If you got a beef with the U.S. government, which I think he ought to have, I think we all ought to have.
Yeah, we should.
There's some scumbag politicians. There's some they're not everybody. I don't want to condemn all of them.
Name one. Name one that's not.
We could have a whole discussion about this because
okay,
politicians aren't even supposed to be.
But name one.
I can't.
Okay, me neither.
That's half the problem.
Me neither.
And you would agree with me. There are people who are in uniform, police uniform, who are good guys, who are respected guys. But so we can't condemn the entire system of police force or the entire government.
But I don't think he's condemning the whole. Because what he's doing is he's saying there are policemen that obviously aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and there's bad policemen, and there's bad radio hosts, and there's bad lawyers.
Absolutely.
What he's saying, there's a problem, and this is what I'm hearing. Nobody's doing anything. And I agree with him wholeheartedly.
But okay, here's the problem. If you have a beef with the authorities, then go take your beef to the authorities. Go lobby the legislation. Go march.
That's not going to work, Jack. I mean, you can't walk up on those stairs. They don't want to hear about what Colin Kaepernick has to say.
Go call out the specific politicians and the scumbags that you have a problem with. Go call out the specific cops who are crooked. But don't condemn everything and everyone. Here's my thought process. My point is not in his criticisms, but it's in the direction where he's pointing those criticisms. Think about it this way. If you got a beef with McDonald's,
okay,
pardon the pun, you're down at McDonald's, whatever the hell they're doing, their employee practices are no good. You don't like the manner in which they're storing the food or the ingredients they're putting in there, the prices they're charging. A few extra bucks to go to college.
Sure.
That's garbage. And to some extent, that's why I believe Colin Kaepernick's protest is misguided.
And it's working. That's the thing.
It's working to the extent that it is make it right.
I understand wholeheartedly.
If you remember this. Back in 1968 in Mexico City. Remember the Black Power salute? Remember Tommy Smith and John Carlos?
Absolutely.
They raised their fists in the Black Power salute during the anthem, and that was met with a tremendous amount of criticism.
And now they look strong, don't they?
Right.
Now they look strong. Right. And let me lead this.
But look at the difference between standing on a podium and raising your fist,
and
just sitting down like a lazy slacker, as if you are spitting in the face of the United States.
And once again, they're both they're both going out on a limb. I get that. And this has kind of had offshoots. A good friend of mine, I can say this is a good friend of mine, John Tortorella. Obviously, you remember that name. Used to be the coach here of the Lightning, won a Stanley Cup. I won a fish.
Torts is one outspoken man.
Well, I mean, one of the more outspoken people I've ever seen, but also one of the realest dudes I've ever met in my whole. That's a real.
No, he's sincere,
dude. No doubt.
He speaks his mind. Wears his heart in his sleeve.
And he doesn't care if people like him.
He does not.
And I love that.
I love that.
John Tortorella came out, and he is coaching the USA team. He came out and he said basically, if anybody doesn't stand on my team, you're sitting your ass on the bench, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. Now, is that right?
You know, it's his choice. He's the coach. He makes the decisions. Right. If you didn't do a play a certain way the coach didn't like, he could put your ass on the bench. That's his choice.
Because he's your boss, and within that hierarchy, he rules you. His word has effect and power more so than just one individual player. The other issue is because it's the United States Olympic team.
Now let me ask you this, okay? If he is the coach of the United States hockey team, all right? You should represent the United States, okay? Is it un-American to bench him when he's doing what is right? His right is? Isn't that un-American?
Interesting.
It could be thrown either way, but again, I think it's respect for your coach. If your coach tells you to do something, you don't do it.
Well,
now you're defying your coach.
So it's not so much a function of the fact that he is protesting against the flag. It's the fact that he's not complying with a mandate.
What if somebody doesn't? What if somebody doesn't stand because of the religious belief?
Different story. I think it's a different story. Because
I don't know. Remember that player in the NBA who
Mahmoud Raouf.
Thank you, Raouf. Yeah. He reached a deal. The Players Union and the league reached a deal where he would stand for the anthem when originally he wouldn't by virtue of his Muslim beliefs.
Well, I mean, to me, it's cloudy, okay?
It's gray.
It's cloudy because I don't like it, but we have to give him the right.
100%.
We have to give him
and that's the beauty of the red, white, and blue. At the end of the day, the red, white, and blue is awful gray. And we protect the gray. We protect the fundamental right to disagree. In other countries, you don't have that benefit. And we are truly blessed by virtue of that benefit.
I love it. I love it. That's why I have you. That's why I have you out here. I've never seen you out of a suit, bro. Seriously, other than in the gym, yeah.
I've seen him in a polo shirt once at Ron's golf tournament. One time.
He looks like he needs a loan. Look at this guy.
You would never know. Be like, give this guy $10, man. He needs some help.
He's sneaky though. It's kind of like a stylish, don't care look. You know what I mean? That's probably an $80 T-shirt that he cut up.
This was a free giveaway. Plug for Heineken. It's got to be this shirt. I'm not lying. This shirt's got.
We're Bud Light people here. You're in trouble. You don't bring up Bud Light here.
There's a lot of it too today.
No doubt.
There's a heck of a lot.
You're gonna stick around for the game a little bit, or you?
I gotta stick around with the dignitaries.
Where's your lovely wife?
My lovely wife is back at the house taking care of business.
How did you get that done? You all get your coverage with that one.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
man. I think there's some degree of hypnotism. You know, they say I'm a silk-tongued individual.
Is that what it is?
And I'm just hoping that doesn't run out.
Understandable. She used to take my spin classes back in the day. She used to love my music.
Still does love your music. Still listens to you every Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether I'm appearing or not.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you, brother.
Give her a nice hug from me. Okay.
I shall, man.
Jack Gordon, the best lawyer in the Bay Area, dignitary lawyer. You guys, people know how to get you. You're everywhere.
They know how to
You're
get me.
everywhere.
It's on bus stops.
Everywhere.
At fightnegligence.com. Yeah, if I don't treat my wife Carmen right, I'm going to wind up living at one of those places.
No doubt about that. Jack Gordon, everybody. And that's why we bring him up here, because he's colorful. And this is a colorful type show.